Hello everyone, this is Group 5 presenting Self on Psychological Perspective.
Psychology. It was the study of the soul before, but along with many studies, it is now study of mental processing, behavior, covers all biological influence, social pressure, and environmental factors that affects how people think, feel, and act. So the question there is, how well do you know yourself? The idea of self refers to a person's perception of themselves as a single, cohesive, and autonomous being that exists independently from others. It is experienced continuously over time and space. The awareness of one's physical, inner, personality, and emotional state are included in personal experience of the self. According to Carl Roger, there are three components of self. The first one is perceived self, and it is only means that self-worth or how they see self. The second one is real self, and it is our self-image. The third component of self is ideal self, and it is means of how we wanted to be.
There are some psychologists and philosophers who build up the foundation of self on psychological perspective. First is William James. The concept of self is known to found psychology as a formal discipline for establishing the school of functionalism in psychology. He has a belief with a connection between the mind and the body. He describes the aspects of self, the me self, and the I self, which are particularly in the context of experimental studies on the phenomenal self. This discipline has been seen a revival of popularity in cognitive science. The me self is a separate individual pertaining to himself by the personal experience, where the I self is a part of the self that knows who they are. Example, I know it was me who paid the bill. The I self is capable of thinking and reflecting, while the me self is the empirical self that does the action.
There are three components of me-self as distinguished by William James. Number one is the material self, our body or personal things or positions. Number two, social self. It is an interactions on social circles. Number three, spiritual self. It is our core values and moral and inner disposition. The importance of unconscious. The father psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, postulated the three-layer, which is one, ID. It is a pleasure seeking, saying, I want it, or I want it now. Number two is ego. It can control, ED, can be delayed pressure. Number three is superego. It is moral principles, our consciousness is do the right things.
The next one is Albert Bandura. He's an influential social cognitive psychologist who is perhaps best known for his learning theory, the concept of self-efficiency, and his famous Bobodal experiments. The first one is agentic. What is an agent? Agentic is to be an agent is to intentionally influence one's functioning and life circumstances. So for example, I chose this course and I must do my obligations to learn, to study, and to pass from my subjects. I must be reactive towards the things and the circumstances that might happen and will happen. Next is proactive, acting in advance of a future situation rather than just reacting. An example of an proactive is a student studying for a fall semester during their summer vacations, studying for an exam so you have the best chance of succeeding.
Four core properties of human agency. First, intentionality, which is the willingness of a person to do a certain things. For example, you decided to not sleep early, then you intentionally want to wake up late. Second, forethought, enables a person to anticipate future outcomes. For example, you notice that it is raining and now you anticipate that the class might be suspended or not. Third, self-reactiveness involves making choices and choosing appropriate courses of action, as well as motivating and regulating. One good example is during examinations. You don't know the answer. It is your decision if you want to copy from your classmate or not. Next, self-reflectiveness give us the ability to reflect on our lack of thoughts and actions. We are also self-examiners. We give time to ourselves to think about our experiences and decisions that we made. To sum this up, the impact of psychological perspective on self help people in a vast part and significance as it explains why people act the way they do. It also improves our self-efficacy, decisions making, stress management, and behavior.